Good afternoon. Welcome to a regular public meeting of the Henry County Board of Commissioners for 3 p.m. Thursday, July 28, 2011. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask for an acceptance of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Stamey, second by Mr. Holmes. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. The first item on the agenda is a public hearing for the adoption of the 2011 millage rate. Our presenter is David Curry, Tax Commissioner, and that's handout number 1. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I am here today to ask you to accept the millage rate for our digest this year. Here to answer any questions you may have.
Does any board member have a question or comment pertaining to this item? If not, Mr. Holder?
This is the same millage rate that it was last year, is that correct?
Correct, no increase.
Anyone else? This is a public hearing on the millage rate, and I would be very surprised if anyone is here to protest the fact that we're not increasing your millage rate, but if anyone would like to speak to that, this is your opportunity to do so. All right, no one wishes to speak in reference to that. You have a resolution before you that is setting the millage as outlined in your resolution, and I will entertain a motion. Motion to approve by Mr. Holder, second by Mr. Bowman. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Ms. County Attorney, do you feel like we need to read those millage rates?
I think perhaps it will be better. It's not required. We'll put it up, but if you want to just read them out for the record, Madam Chairman, I think that would be good.
For the record, the Board of Commissioners millage is set at 11.750 mills for 11.750 mills. The City of McDonough 8.655 mills. The City of Stockbridge is 11.750, the City of Hampton 10.35, and the City of Locust Grove is 9.803, and those are the millage rates for this upcoming year.
Correct.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Those are the county taxes. On the second page shows the total millage rate, which we adopted the total. You may want to read those numbers as well.
Okay.
If the viewers and the listeners may think that's what the city's millage rate is, but by the time you figure in rollbacks and everything else, the actual millage rate will be on the second page.
Would you read those, Mr. Curry?
I sure will. Total ad valorem tax levies are 38.628 mills for unincorporated areas of the county, 38.628 mills for the City of Stockbridge, 39.926 mills, which includes a increase for the City of McDonough. They've increased their millage rate this year to 4.393. It is a millage rate of 36.913 mills for the City of Hampton and 36.681 mills for the City of Locust Grove. That's cumulative total millage rate.
Thank you so much. All right. The next item on the agenda is a resolution requesting approval of a utility relocation agreement with Georgia Power for the relocation of a pole at Jamaica Drive. Terry McMickle, Public Works Director, Division Director, is our presenter, and that's handout number 2. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chairman, board members. This is we're seeking authorization here to relocate a Georgia Power pole that is in conflict with our culvert replacement project at Jamaica Drive on, I believe it's Pine Creek. This pole is right at the outlet end of the box, and we desperately tried to work around where we would not have to move it, but the ground's very unstable, and before we can complete setting the boxes, when we start to excavate to put the bedding for the pipe, the ground wasn't stable enough, pipe started leaning, so we are gonna have to relocate that as well. It'd probably be well to get it out from in front of the pipes, because if we have a pretty good storm event, that would discharge all that water right at the power pole anyway, so it's probably in the best interest overall to relocate this pole. We got an agreement from Georgia Power, a cost of $8,243. We did budget for utility relocation in our original project budget, so we're asking the board for approval and authorize the chairman to sign that relocation agreement.
Does any board member have a question or comment pertaining to this item? Mr. Auletta?
Once this is done, taken care of, what do you look to have a completion date on this?
if the power company moves in fairly quickly, say next week, it'll probably, wouldn't take them, I wouldn't think, any more than a couple of days to relocate this pole. We should be able to complete our work within, well, set the remainder of the boxes and wing walls probably within a week. We'll be backfilling that whole structure while they're doing that, so we're going to continue to be working. I would say we should have that road back in its place in 3 to 4 weeks from now and be gone.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If not, this lies in District 2, and you have a resolution before you, Mr. Auletta, and I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion by Mr. Auletta and a second by Mr. Holmes. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. The next item is a resolution requesting approval of a lease agreement with Key Government Finance Incorporated to finance new equipment for upgrades. Our presenter is Clark Rayner, Director of Technology Services. That's handout number 3. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I appreciate you being able to hear this today. This is, what we're voting on here today here is actually the lease agreement itself to purchase off of our existing contract through ADCAP's network systems for, these are infrastructure equipment for servers and for our telephone system. Our phone system is approximately 5.5 years old. It's time to get those things upgraded. This is also going to prepare us for new software that we're looking at for our entire financial system. That's what we call ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning, as well as for 911 and as well as for the police department. You have a resolution there, and you both and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does any board member have a question or comment pertaining to this item? Mr. Auletta?
Mr. Rayner, the AS400 system that's being decommissioned, is this being replaced by another AS400, a larger, bigger?
No, sir. This is actually, the plan is to actually replace those AS400s. We have 7 AS400s, 3 that are actually active, 3 that are a passive failover at a disaster recovery site, and then 1 that's a development AS400. Those will actually end up just going away, and actually those programs will be migrated from the AS400 platform over into a Windows Microsoft platform.
Okay.
It's a lot less expensive to maintain that Windows platform than the 400 platform, for sure.
I understand.
Any other questions? Mr. Bowman?
My question, I guess, would be to Mike. Mike, do we have, is this coming out of capital funds? Where's the money coming from?
This will come out of capital funds, and we put this money in the budget specifically for this upgrade to our system.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Any other questions? All right, if not, you have before you a resolution awarding financial services agreement for the purchase of Cisco products and services for the Henry County Technology Services Department, and I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Auletta, second by Mr. Holmes. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. If there's no further business to come before this board, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Holmes, second by Mr. Auletta. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. We stand adjourned.